Hello and welcome to Acoustic Review. My name is Ben Morgan Brown and today I'm looking at the Red Plus SR DC from Furch Guitars. Furch Guitars are made in the Czech Republic and they make a wide range of instruments, and the Red Plus line is right at the top of that range. The SR DC is a dreadnought cutaway body size with a master grade Sitka spruce top and master grade Indian rosewood back and sides. The neck is mahogany with a zero coat fingerboard and the bridge is also zero coat. The guitar has koa binding as well as koa inlays on the fingerboard, and it has a scale length of 650mm, a nut width of 45mm, and the string spacing at the saddle is 55mm. It comes with a Furch branded Hiscox hardcase and has an RRP of €3,189. Furch guitars are not a brand that I've had a lot of experience with in the past, and the specs on this particular guitar look really great, so I'm looking forward to having a little play, and then we'll come back afterwards and have a listen to my thoughts. First thing that struck me about this guitar is the quality of the Sitka spruce top. It's got lots of cross silking, it's obviously cut straight on the quarter. It's probably one of the highest quality tops that I've seen here at Acoustic Review. The rest of the wood selection on the guitar is also really high. The Indian rosewood back and sides is straight grained and very dark, and the koa binding gives a nice contrast to that darker wood on the back and sides as well. The figured zero coat on the fingerboard and bridge is a nice touch and is a slightly different look to a more traditional rosewood or ebony fingerboard. And overall the whole guitar has a modern look, but I think the whole wood construction with the wooden binding as well gives the guitar a warm feel that's not too far from a more traditional guitar look, but it's not as clinical as some modern guitars can look. The build quality and fit and finish is as close to perfect as it can be. The frets particularly are really shiny, they're almost mirror-like, they've been so highly polished. The interior of the guitar is clean and expertly put together. And I also like the wooden label that has a branded Furch logo on it. That's a real cool touch that's different to your more traditional paper label. The tone of the guitar is very pure with an airy quality. It's not quite got the wall of sound power that some dreadnoughts would have. It's a little bit more refined, whereas your kind of more traditional dreadnought can sometimes be a bit like a sledgehammer. This is definitely a bit more of a precision tool. The sustain of the guitar is really even, with the harmonics still ringing out as the notes fade out. And you don't get that kind of sudden drop off that you sometimes get with a guitar. So that's really good actually to have that sustain there. It means that you've got it if you need it, but obviously like with any guitar you can palm mute it and take that out. The harmonics aren't dominating the sound and giving a kind of zingy, kind of clangy ring to it, which you sometimes get with guitars that are, very overtone and very ringy sounding. The purity of the tone came across both finger picking and strumming. I felt that the guitar was slightly warmer when finger picking and slightly brighter when strumming, but the guitar kept its poise when I was strumming. It didn't get too zingy, too toppy, which sometimes guitars which are biased to the bright side, which I suppose this guitar is, they can get a bit over the top if you start to dig in with a plectrum. The bass notes are present as well. They're certainly part of the sound. They're not separate and dominating everything. They're very clear as well, with a kind of slight piano-ness on low chords, I felt. The playability is excellent with a nice low action, and the satin finish on the back of the neck makes for a really smooth playing feel. The neck profile is quite slim. It's not too skinny, but around the nut end of the neck it is quite flat on the back. So if you're a player who prefers to keep your thumb on the back of the neck, I think you'll find this guitar particularly comfortable. On the other hand, if you're a player who does like putting your thumb over the top, you might find there's a slight lack of fullness there. But having said that, I didn't feel like I had to change my technique when I was playing this guitar at all. I just think it's always worthwhile spending a bit of time with a guitar neck because it's a very personal thing. I think this guitar is a bit of an all-rounder and would therefore suit a lot of different players with a lot of different styles. Or if you're someone who's looking for a guitar that's versatile, that you can finger pick and strum. Obviously the cutaway means you can play up quite high as well if you like that. It's definitely one for those of you who like a kind of modern feeling in playing guitar. If you're kind of really into your vintage guitars, this might not be the right one for you. But if you want a guitar that can do everything really well with no effort really, this is definitely a guitar to have a look at. One thing that I did like on this guitar is that it comes with Gotoh 510 tuners. They're a great tuner, they work very well, they're very smooth to use, and if you're like me and you play in a few different tunings, that would be really good to move between tunings nice and smoothly, nice and easily. A great bit of kit on a great guitar. At €3,000, this guitar is obviously priced at a point where there's a lot of options available. Some of those options are from the more traditional builders that we're aware of, and some of those options will be from smaller builders. I think the wood selection and the build quality, the playability and the sound of this guitar put it into that price bracket deservedly. If you compare it to some of the American brands, the price is quite attractive actually, because the American brands have gone up quite a lot in the last few years due to import taxes and exchange rates. So it's really good to see a European guitar that's up there with its American competition. I can't think of anything that I would change on this guitar if I could. And I think it really goes to show that we have a real depth of choice available to us as players nowadays from American brands and European brands, and they're all up there in quality that is really high. And I think it's a great time to be buying a guitar, and if you're out there looking for a guitar at the moment, I think at €3,000 with a Hiscox case and with excellent wood selection, this is definitely a guitar you should be looking at. I hope you've enjoyed this video from Acoustic Review. Please subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you next time.